This Chazar of Gemara and Eruvin Daf Yomi again. The learning of Chodesh Elul is sponsored by Schos Refuah Shleim Shana Teva Bas Esther as well as Schos Liam Nishmas Esther Rezel Basar of Meir. We pick it up on the bottom of your Bezim and Beis says the Gemara the last time Yishmer Yishmael Emer Talmud Echad. The Talmud said over in the name of Rabbi Yishmael. Says the Gemara, moving along to Gimel Amud Aleph. Rabbi Kiva Omer Al Zev Nechlu. The Talmud said the name Rabbi Yishmael. Rabbi Kiva. On this they argued in the Mishnah. When did Bisham Beisil argue? Was it arguing only when it's more than 4 amos or not? That was what the Talmud said. The name Rabbi Yishmael. Rabbi Kiva. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Kiva and the Tanakama. Rabbi Kiva is the same thing as the Tanakama because Rabbi Kiva says to argue about both cases. Seemingly that's exactly what Tanakama held. Ikmenau Rabbi Achli v'Teimer Rabbi Chia v'Lei Mesaimi. The case of Rabbi Achli or Rabbi Chia, which was what anything less than 4 tefachim means nothing. And one of the opinions, either Rabbi Kiva or the Tanakama, held like that. We don't know which one. Tani, we learned in the Brayso, Rabbi Kiva, Rabbi Yishmael, Davar Zeh, he said Talmud Omar, Davar Zeh. Rabbi Yishmael never said this. It was a Talmud that says the name of Rabbi Yishmael. V'Halacha goes to Talmud. That's Halacha. Hagavikash, Amr, Rabbi Yishmael, Davar Zeh, Amr Lesach, like I would say. V'Hada Amr, then he told me Halacha goes to Talmud, that which means that it is the Halacha. Amr Rabbi Yudah, Amr Shmuel, Amr Rabbi Kiva, El Lechadi Ba Talmidim. No, really, it's not the Halacha. Rabbi Kiva just said it to Lechadi to sharpen the Talmidim to show that he listened, he liked what they said. But in truth, it's not the Halacha. It was not what Rabbi Yishmael said. Rav Nachman Yitzchak, Amr Nir Nitzman. No, it just means it appeared that way. Amr Shuban Levi, Komakim Shat Demotim Mishum Rabbi Yishmael, Amr Damal Echad. Anytime you find a Talmud saying over the name of Rabbi Yishmael, if name Rabbi Kiva, or in front of Rabbi Kiva, Inu Ella, Rabbi Meir, it's one Talmud saying over the name of Rabbi Yishmael and the name of Rabbi Kiva. Shashim is Rabbi Yishmael, Vez Rabbi Kiva, he served and he learned under both Rabbi Yishmael and Rabbi Kiva. The time he went to the Brayso, Rabbi Meir, Kshisi, it's Rabbi Yishmael. Rabbi Meir said, when I was by Yerushalayim, I used to put the kankantum, a certain substance inside the diyai. V'loim really davar didn't say anything to me. Shabbat Yisrael Rabbi Kiva, when I came from Rabbi Kiva, Asar Tiyalai. Kiva said, you're not allowed to put Asar Alai, you're not allowed to put the kankantum into the diyai. Says Gemara, 1 second. Is that true? I'll tell you a story. The exact opposite. Again, in the name of Rabbi Kiva. When I learned it from Rabbi Kiva, in the name of Rabbi Meir, when I learned it from Rabbi Kiva, he said, I used to put the stumps inside the diyai. He didn't tell me anything. What do you do? Shmuel said back, be really careful. It's God's work. Maybe you'll miss a letter and add a letter. It's like destroying the whole world. Rav Meir said back to his Rabbi Yishmael now. I have this thing called kankantum. I put inside the ink. Amar Ali, Rabbi Yishmael said back to me, are you allowed? So you ready? We see this theory in Rabbi Yishmael's. Rabbi Yishmael says the theory says because has to be excited that's able to be erased. So before we go involved into this machlekes Rabbi Yishmael and Rabbi Kiva, seemingly that the two stories contradict each other, says Gemara, my kamerle, what was this conversation between Rabbi Yishmael and his Talmud Rabbi Meir? Well, my kamerle, hachi kamerle, lo mi by v'chaseres v'yiseres. Rabbi Meir said to his Rabbi, not needless to say with things that are missing and things that are adding, meaning the Torah zolitini of the bakyana. Don't worry about that. I'm a bakya. Make sure I don't miss any letters. I add any letters. Ela afilu mechzos vav nami. I'm even careful, says Rabbi Meir, that even a fly will mess up what I did. Damasi v'yasef. I take the dalit. Maybe the fly will come and land on the crown of the dalit. And it's going to erase it. It's going to make it into a resh. Therefore, says Rabbi Meir, don't worry about it. Don't know why I'm not worried about that fly. I put this kankantum inside the diyai, and that is the reason why the fly won't erase it. So now, figuring out what Rabbi Meir said back to Rabbi Yishmael, the Gemara now says, what's going on over here? Kasha shimish shimish, kasha asra asra. Double question. One story, he first went to Rabbi Yishmael, then he went to Rabbi Kiva. And the other story, first went to Rabbi Kiva, then to Rabbi Yishmael. So where did Rabbi Meir learn first? Where did he learn second? Secondly, says the Gemara, who held its mutter with this kankantum? Who held this kankantum is not mutter. We have a steer in the story between Rabbi Yishmael and Rabbi Kiva. Says the Gemara, the fact that he learned by two different people, what was the order? That's not a question. Mikara, Kiva, first learned by Rabbi Kiva. He didn't fully grasp what Rabbi Kiva was saying us to commit Rabbi Yishmael. So he went to learn by Rabbi Yishmael. V'gamar Gemara, he learned the halachas much seen about the house to commit Rabbi Kiva. Then he went back to Rabbi Kiva. So that's why he went back and forth, because he indeed went back and forth. V'savar svar, then he learned from Rabbi Kiva. El Asr Kasha. It's a stira. Which one, Rabbi Kiva or Yishmael? Which one held that this kankantum is no good? Tani Rabbi Yudah, Kasha. Kasha, the Gemara says, you're right, indeed it is a question. Who held it is good, who held it is not good? The Gemara continues 4 lines into the wide lines. You give them enough. Tani, we learned in a brace. Rav Yudah Rav Meir Yomer l'chomatim kankantum dechad yochad parsha Saita. You got to put kankantum inside everything aside from the parsha of Saita. Rav Kiva Yomer Mishmai chutz mi parsha Saita shebe mikdash. No, only parsha Saita in the base of mikdash. That you're not allowed to put it in the parsha Saita. My benayu, what's this machlekes Rav Yaakov and Rav Yehuda? Rav Yirmin lichak b'minatayrik benayu. Are you allowed to erase when you write the parsha Saita that we erase in the water and the woman drinks the suspected Saita? Does it have to be a special parsha written for the base of Mikdash or any sefer Tayrik benayu? That's the difference. First man damer held to be any sefer Tayrik, second man damer held special sefer Tayrik for the base of Mikdash. So the Mara first tries to say v'hani tanai kani tanai this machlekes tanai how like this machlekes tanai. Time to the brayso. Ein megaltik she'elash was Saita acheres. That has to be written for this couple and can't be for someone else. So we thought that's like the second opinion that has to be written special for the base. No, you can use it for a different kotel, and that's like the first opinion. Says Gemara, what's going on in here? Amar Abba, the two Tanaim have nothing to do with each other. I can look Amar Tanakam who's reading for Rachel, you can't use it for a different person. Maybe a stam Torah would work. So maybe it's nothing to do with that machlekes. And so to the other way around, says Gemara. There was at least written for some site. That's what Rachel says. Okay, the Islamic siva. Maybe it's not going to be good. You can't use it. Says Gemara, fine. But last time Rachel Aisha held you allowed to use one saita for a different saita. What about the following Mishnah? Because the Galigar sister, someone writes a get to divorce his wife. Moving on to Gimel Amud Bey. He's and he changes his mind. And he finds someone in his town. Your name is like my name. Your wife's name is like my wife's name. He's not allowed to use it to divorce his wife. So Gemara is bothered. Why by get? Seemingly you have to write specifically for this couple. So why by say to not? Says Gemara, what's the question? Because like save being ksiv lishma, then of lishma by the get. By say to va'asa lok save being asi lishma, then of lishma by the asiya by the doing. What's the doing? Asiya didam bechi. That's the raising, but not the writing of the parsha. It's revealed in front of God. Known only then reach like himself. Why is like him? You would seemingly convince them that saying Torah was Tami, and as well the opposite. Tana says his name wasn't exactly Rameir or Rav Shemai. Because he wouldn't lay in their eyes in Allah. His name wasn't even because he lay in their eyes in Allah. No, I am sharper than my friend, says Rabbi. I saw the back of Rameir. Would have seen the face of Rameir. Would be even smarter. We see the wonderful mile of seeing a Rabbi. There was certain Talmud to Rameir. His name is time you see 40 reasons that something that was Tama is Tama. Anything that was Tar, 40 reasons that it was Tar. Tana Talmud Vasakir Biavnu, there was no Talmud Niyan Shem Taras the Shares, you say a Shares is Tar Bein Bechamin Shin time me with 150 reasons. Amar Avina Ani Eitan Batar, and I will judge and I'll make it Tar Man Nachash. Just like a snake, Shemim say kills Marbat and increases Tama, Tar yet itself is Tar, Shares and Shemim is Marbat Tama Koshkein. Says Mar, it's no proof from the snake, below you might say Kutz Ba'alma covet a snake, it just kills it just like a thorn. It's not a proof with regard to the din of Tuma. Amar Rav Abba Amar Shmuel, Amar Rav Abba Amar Shmuel, Shalosh Shanam Nechlu Beisham Beisil, 3 years Beisham Beisil argued, Halalu Amar Lakum Asin Halalu Amar Lakum Asin, this one's Allah is like me, and this one says Allah is like me. Yotabas Kova Amra. Both of them is the Allah of Allah Beisil, both the word of God, but Allah is like Beisil. Why do Beisil win if both of them are the word of God? Says the Gemara in the second. Why? Because they were calm and they were civil. V'shayin divrei Beishamai used to teach your own reasonings and Beishamais. V'lo'oid, not only that, shemaktim divrei Beishamai. So they were civil, they were calm, they taught both their reasons and their opponent's reasoning, and they put their opponent before them, Beishamai before themselves. Because there's like that which you learn Mishay Reish Ruba of Sukkah. Someone who has the head in his body in the Sukkah of Shulchan Sukkah Bayis, the tables in the house. Beishamai Bayis, Beishamai says no good. Beisil Machshim. Amle Beisil Beishamai. Look, Beishamai Zikne Beisil Vakar Yerucham and Chorsis wasn't the story they went to visit Yerucham and Chorsis. Who Matzah Yeshiva and he was sitting that way. So say Beisil, he sees a proof to us. That's how he was sitting in the sukkah. The table was in the house. Beishamai said, "What's the proof?" The elder said to Yerucham and Chornis, you never did the mitzvah of sukkah. That's how you always sat. So you see, they said the reason Beishamai for themselves. Hashem makes him great. Hashem lowers him. You run after greatness. Kedula Barech is man who runs away from you. Kedula Barech man you run away from me. Kedula Machzer Zacharav chase after you. You force them out. You push yourself away. Shah Med is then awaits for you. Taner Rabban Shtein Nashim Sheishanim. I'm sorry. Mechzel 2.5 years. Nechlu Beisham Yisil Allah Minachlu Adam Shalei Nivra. It's better not to be created. Years me Shenivra. Allah Minachlu Adam Shenivra. Years me Shalei Nivra. Nemnu V'Gamru Nach. It seemingly Abshar Nachlu Adam Shalei Nivra. It's better not to be created. Years me Shenivra. Actually Shenivra. Now that we are created, if I should not stop, you have to be careful with their deeds. We'll pick it up from here on Monday.